Speaking of dates, girls, I was down in Tennessee visiting some friends, and I didn't know anybody down there but them two, and they decided they was going to fix me up with a blind date. Now, I'm telling you, I never had much luck with blind dates, but I was kind of lonely. So they told me they'd meet me at this little club. So I get down there, and the three of them was already there, so I slid in this booth, sat by this girl, and going, wow, she's pretty hot. She was good looking. I thought, well, maybe I ain't going to get screwed this time. So we sat there and talked, and my two friends, him and his girl, they was out there dancing and crap. And finally I said to her after a few beers, I said, hey, you want to go dance? She kind of got all pissy with me. She says, are you being a smart ass or what? I said, well, what do you mean? I just asked you to dance. She says, well, I ain't got no legs. I kind of chuckled, and I thought that ain't really funny, but I chuckled anyway, and I reached down, and sure enough, this girl didn't have no friggin' legs. Oh, man, another blind date gone wrong here. Anyway, it's kind of awkward, but we got talking about it, and she lost her legs, both of them, in a tractor accident, turned over and ran over her ass. So anyway, we had a good time. She was really fun to talk to. We were getting pretty loose. Well, my two friends decided they was going to take off and leave me with her. So it's getting later, and the bartender was coming around for the last call. And I said, well, bring me a half a dozen of them, this is awkward. Finally got down to the facts. I got a face. I said, well, listen, we got to get out of here. How are we going to do this? She says, well, most boys, she says, I just throw my arms around their shoulders, and they pick me up, and I put my stubs around their waist. I said, okay. Well, sure enough, that's the way we did it. And I carried her out to my truck. And I'm ready to get this date over with. Even though she's a nice person, it's kind of hard for me to handle. But anyway, on the way home, she lived way out in the damn boonies, through the hills and down the valleys. And way home, she says, hey, pull in here. Pulled in between this little woods, a lane going back there. And there was nothing there at dead end. She says, hey, she says, just because I don't have no legs don't mean I don't like the hanky-panky, or I can't. I said, well, okay. So sure enough, we got it on out there. And God love her, she was a sweetheart, I'm telling you. So anyway, got later, and I decided I better take her home. So we made a left on the road, went down there, and turned up this long lane. Got back there, and the porch light was on. I thought, oh man, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, guys. So anyway, I get her out. She throws her arms around my shoulders and around my neck, and puts her stubs around my waist, and I'm carrying her on the porch. Here comes this great big old guy. Opens the screen door, and I just looked at him, he looked at me. I weigh what, 148 pounds? He probably weighed 348. I thought, man, this ain't good. He didn't say a word. So I take her in, I sit there on the couch, and I just want to leave. She kisses me good night, and I said, well, I got to go. So I got to go past him. So I got out the door, and the guy looks at me and started smiling, started shaking my hand. I'm freaking. I said, what's up with that? Anyway, he says, oh, man, he said, you're just a great guy. He said, And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, he said, man, he said, you took my daughter out, said she seems like she's happy. He said, you guys are out a little late, but he said, I can overlook that. He said, you made her smile. And he said, you're a really decent guy. And I said, well, thank you. I don't know why you're saying that. He said, well, I'm telling you that because said, most of them leave them at the end of the lane on a fence post. True story.